For what purpose does the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Grijalva, seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House suspend the rules and pass Bill S-1466 as amended.
Clerk will report the title of the bill.
Senate 1466, an act to authorize the Director of the United States Geological Survey to establish a regional program to assess, monitor, and benefit the hydrology of saline lakes in the Great Basin and the migratory birds and other wildlife dependent on those habitats and for other purposes.
Pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Grijalva, and the gentleman from California, Mr. Obernolte, will each control 20 minutes. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Arizona.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent that all members may have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend the remarks and include extraneous material on the measure under consideration.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield myself as much time as I may consume.
Gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of S-1466, introduced by Senator Jeff Merkley and led in the House by my colleague Blake Moore. This bill will direct the U.S. Geological Survey to establish a program to assess and monitor the hydrology of saline lakes and associated ecosystems in the Great Basin states in the West. Saline lakes in the western United States are shrinking and becoming saltier due to prolonged drought and other effects of climate change. These shrinking lakes are exposing harmful dust that threatens the public health of neighboring communities while harming local economies and eliminating essential migratory bird habitat. This program will help inform and support coordinated management and conservation actions to benefit saline lakes. I urge my colleagues to vote yes in the bill, and I reserve the balance.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from California is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield myself such time as I may consume.
Gentleman's recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of the Saline Lake Ecosystems in the Great Basin States Program Act. Now, although we are considering the Senate version of this bill today, I'd like to commend my colleague from Utah, Mr. Blake Moore, for his tireless advocacy for both the House companion bill, which he sponsored, and the Senate bill before us today. This bill requires the U.S. Geological Survey to establish an assessment and monitoring program that would address the hydrology of saline lake ecosystems in the Great Basin of the western United States. There are 20 saline lakes located in parts of Utah, Nevada, Oregon, and California, several actually in my district. Across this area, saline lakes and their associated wetlands support an important network of habitat for migratory birds and other species. This bill will inform and support coordinated federal, state, and local management and conservation efforts to benefit those ecosystems, migratory birds, and other wildlife. I urge adoption of this bill, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from California is recognized. From Arizona, wherever you're from. He's California, you're Arizona. Gentleman from Arizona is recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have no further request for time, and we're prepared to close, and I reserve.
Gentleman from California is now recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I urge adoption of this bill, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Arizona.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I join with my colleague in urging support of the legislation. Yield back the balance.
All time having expired, question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass Senate Bill 1466 as amended? Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, please say no. In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 being in the affirmative, rules are suspended. What purpose does the gentleman from Arizona seek recognition?
I request the yeas and nays, please.
Gentleman seeks the yeas and nays. They are requested.